Hey, I'm just making a video on Nclex exam. This is just about the materials actually. Which materials you really have to study for the exam? There are so many materials available out there that you will possibly think is going to help you, but I I don't think so because I have written this exam just recently in 2025. So I passed the exam, and that was not my first time writing the exam. So it was my second time writing the exam, and I really had to work hard to get this exam done correctly. So, from my experience, what I think is you really don't need a lot of materials to pass the exam. You really don't have to subscribe everything out there, or you really don't need all those fancy books to study. I have seen people promoting um, contents saying you have to use this particular material to pass the exam, or some other materials to pass the exam with a lot of pictures, just like kids book. And I was like, do I really need this kind of kids book to pass the exam? Hell no. You really don't need such kind of books. You are an adult. I I think you should at least be about 18 to pass this exam because you are uh, an adult. So think that way. Do you really need a very fancy books? I mean, if you are really into those funny books, you can do that, but otherwise you really don't need those kind of books. You just need genuine books that uh, purely says the content. Okay, so what I would suggest you to um, use would be uh, just two materials. That's it. Just two maximum materials. I'm not telling you which material you have to follow. It's up to you, your choice. But I would say what kind of materials that you have to use. Material 1 should be a content, and material 2 should be a questionnaire. So that's what I want to suggest. That's the whole point of making this video. So material 1 should have a content that you could review at any time. Okay, so I would suggest you to rely on a proper content book, but I won't suggest you to use a very thick book like Saunders is a good reference book, but not a good study material for you to sit and learn every day. No, you need to have a book. You can either make your own notes, that would be brilliant because that's going to help you understand every concept in your own way. But if you're not into that and you don't have time, and you are somebody who has a lot of responsibility and you have a job and you're trying to prepare in between, I would suggest you to get a content book from a very good uh, resource. Like I would say, I hope you must have seen Mark Clemek's notes. Okay, I'm not promoting him at all, but uh, you must have seen that free materials out there for Mark Clemeks. That's a 12 chapter Clemeks notes. So if you see those notes, you know how the notes should be. Like it's just the printed paper with lots of content. Just say the content properly, and that's it. So you might need something like that. That's what I am trying to advise. But I'm not sure whether Mark Clemeks has a content book as such for sale or something. But um, and the content from the Simple Nursing is also really good. All their content is also really good. But again, I don't know whether they have the content only book buyable, but I would suggest something like that to use as a content. Okay, but in my case, I was using my own notes. I made notes using the Saunders book. I haven't completely made notes from the Saunders book. I used all the YouTube videos out there to make my notes. So I have used simplenursing.com. I have used the content from Mark Clemeks. I have used many materials out there for free of cost to make my own notes in my own way to understand my my for my brain to understand, because I know my brain how bad it is or how good it is, however it is. So you know what your weakness and you know how you have to study. So you just you just prepare in that way and make notes in that way. But when I say make notes, I'm not telling you to make a huge book just as same of the reference book. No, you are going to make content books with each system. So if you are, for instance, if you are starting cardiovascular system, you are starting cardiovascular system, and you are going to make contents in that system, and the page should be like 40 pages might be the maximum you need it. Okay, just make that much notes and you just write it. You don't have to cover all small points, just focus onto the big points and the critical points that you really have to follow. So if you're starting to study about something, like for instance, if you are studying MI, you are going to study the important points of MI, okay, and then you are going to make a note. But if you're when you're making note, you get doubt, is this points enough? Just go and see a YouTube video, just watch one, and you will be seeing some more content. If you missed anything, you can add it, and that's it. You got the MI note. That's it. Then you are going to the next big topic. So likewise, you have to go into each topic. Then why I'm telling you to follow some content materials or some of the creators out there is purely because you need to have a syllabus. You need to know which are the contents you really have to study. So that's the biggest deal here. So if you're taking each system, you should be aware that which are the contents that are important, because these people who have only one job, they're just making materials on YouTube regarding the Nclex. So their prime focus is to make the video and good content. So then you can use them as your resource. I hope you understood what I mean. Okay. So that's the first thing. Second thing is use a question bank. Okay. When I say question bank or question materials, I'm trying to tell you to use somebody who is pro in that as well. So I would suggest you to use UWorld content if you can, or you can use the content from uh, some other good people, Archer Review. I don't know, I have not used it, so I only used UWorld when I was preparing, so I really liked it. But it's up to you whether to choose UWorld or any other materials out there. But you always have to choose a question bank, people. Okay, that's must. Okay, that's a must thing. And another thing is that you have to start preparing the question bank the same day you start preparing your content. Okay, I get it. Your question is going to be, I'm not prepared, I don't know how to answer the question. Okay, that's fine. You really don't have to know the answer. I've told you to start prepare. Okay, just start preparing with the question bank. It doesn't hurt, does it? No, it just don't hurt. Start preparing with a question bank. I know that it has an expiry, but that's not the concern now. The concern is the point, the whole point of you starting your question bank from the first day is not to study the content, that is to study the pattern. Okay, to familiarize yourself and your brain how to approach each question. Okay, that's another thing, and that's a very important thing that you have to understand in your Nclex preparation if you have not heard about it yet. Okay, so it's a very important thing how to approach a question. There are millions of questions. I won't say millions, like 2000 or 2500 questions. And if you start preparing yourself with the question banks every day, the same time when you study the content, you are making yourself familiarized with all the contents, all the question styles, and then you are automatically learning how to approach the questions. That's the aim. Okay, by the time you prepare your content, like I would say, by the time it is 15 days, you are learning a lot of things. Okay, and then you can go back and study, re-review the content, and then you can re-review the questions. Okay, so that's how you learn. And there is very important thing that I really want to emphasize here is that you are going to learn each system that you completed 5 days after. Okay, or 3 days after. So after you learn the system, you make a mark after 3 days to review that system, or else you're going to forget. So review that system and do some questions. Okay, so that's how you have to study. And I would like to remind you that there most of the question banks materials have a very good timetable planner. Okay, so table planner or time a study planner or something like that. So if you make use of that study planner, you are going to do great, because I have personally used that study planner. It's free with that. Okay, it's free with that material. So if you just make use of that, just make use of it, you're going to do really good. Okay, and this is all about my content about the materials that you have to choose. So if you have any questions or any doubts, just uh, comment on my video. I'm not a pro in this video making, so I'm not sure whether you guys are getting it right or not, but I don't want anybody to struggle anymore, because I know how much I struggled, and I don't want anybody to struggle anymore, because I know what exactly to do. So I'm trying to help you out, and there is nothing I'm getting, because I'm just waiting for some of my license papers to come out and things like that. So I got time, so I'm making some videos just in case if it helps. That's it. Okay, so thank you so much for your time. um Prepare well, prepare hard and smart. Be smart. Okay, so you're gonna make it this time, baby. Don't worry. Thank you so much. Bye bye.